But now what I'm going to do is introduce 3 rules. Okay, so let's go and call this function g of x. And this one's going to have a x plus 4, a positive 2, and then a negative x plus 4. All right, now the restrictions for this one is going to be x is less than negative 2. We'll have this one is going to be negative 2 less than or equal to x, which is less than 2. And then this one is going to be x is greater than 2. Okay, now I don't want to waste a lot of time graphing this all 3. So I'm just going to put this all on the same axis, okay? And this is another approach. Once you get a little good foundation of understanding what you're doing, you don't need to break it down into 3 different graphs, right? You can just go into the same graph. But well, for whatever it is, a lot of students will just get confused now when I have 3 equations. So again, what I tell them is like, all right, let's just graph one at a time, and then let's just follow the restrictions. Now, here's another way we can do this. I'm going to put these restrictions where these values are. I'm going to put these as vertical lines. They're not asymptotes. I'm going to erase them because I don't want you to think that they're part of the graph or that they're asymptotes. But what this is basically doing is breaking up our graph into 3 different sections. Right? This represents x is less than negative 2. This represents a negative 2 is less than or equal to x, which is less than 2. And this is going to be x is greater than 2. Okay, so I put the restrictions above there so I can just remember. Now again, the less than or equal to is going to determine if our value is included or not. I'm just kind of breaking up the graph into 3 sections, right? So section 1, section 2, section 3. This is section 1, this is section 2, and this is section 3. Okay. All right. So how do we graph now from this, or how do we use this approach? So I'm going to do x plus 1. X is less than negative 2. Okay. But first I got to, or sorry, x plus 4. First I got to graph x plus 4. So I'm going to go up to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, way up here, right? But the problem here is I don't want to, I could go up and to the right. But again, remember, this is x is less than negative 2, right? So I need to go down and I need to go over in this direction because I need to fill out the graph that looks over here. So I'm going to go up to 4. And then remember the slope is 1 over 1, right? But instead of going up and to the right, because I want to fill out this section, I'm going to go down and to the left, down and to the left. And then here I can have a value, but it says it's less than negative 2. So I'm going to do an open circle, but then I'm just going to continue in that, using that slope, right? Which is down over 1. Then I go to section number 2, which is from negative 2. So this is a y equals 2, which again, remember, is just a horizontal line. So from negative 2 to 2, this graph is going to be, it's less than or equal to, but then it's open to over here. So it's going to include that. That means it's going to fill it in. But then over here, we're going to have a nice open circle. All right. Now let's go to section number 3. Section number 3 is for all these values. So I'm going to go x is equal to 4, but now this has a negative slope. But again, I don't want to go to this left direction. I want to go over to the right. So here's my y-intercept. And to go to the right, I can go down one to the right one, down one to the right one. And then I can just kind of continue that pattern in this direction. Okay, so it has the same kind of slope as over here, right? 1 over 1, but this one's a negative slope. And should I fill it in? The answer is no. The reason why I couldn't fill it in because this is x is greater than 2. This was for x is less than 2. So guess what? X is not going to be defined in those 2 values. And then I'm going to erase these nice little tick marks because I don't want you to confuse your teacher thinking you're throwing asymptotes in there.